All right. Welcome back to Patriot Specialized, everybody. Thanks for tuning in today. Today's episode, we made it to Baltimore to get unloaded. Sort of. We did get unloaded, but it came with it came with a little bit of drama. So stick around. Don't want to miss it. Man, today challenged my patience quite a bit. I really expected today to be a pretty easy going, nice, smooth, no stress day is what I expected. Got up this morning. We made it to, Keith and I made it to Wheeling, West Virginia last night to the TA. Pretty good truck stop. We went in and had dinner last night. It was real good food. So you get a chance to stop in Wheeling, that TA there, stop for dinner. It was pretty decent food there, Country Pride there. So, but we stayed there last night. Got up this morning. Daylight was at 7:30. Most dates you can run a half hour before. So we got up, we got ready, got everything pre-tripped, had everything ready to go about 6:40, 6:30 or so. We're just waiting on the first inkling of light to show up so that we could get moving. And once it did, we got out of there, took off, got rolling, split off. When I went on 79 South, Keith kept going on 70, so he'd go to his delivery. And hills drug me down a little bit. I definitely, you'll see some footage of that here in a second. The hills drug me down a little bit. Fantastic view. What a gorgeous area that is. Scale House left me alone on 68, so that was nice. They pulled me on and weighed me, and I thought they left me on the scale for a few minutes, and I thought, they're doing something in there. But then they put the green light out, and I got on my way. So I don't know. They must have been searching their system to see if I had a permit or not. But that worked out pretty good. Ran into a couple guys on the road that were also running these tractors up to Baltimore, so that was kind of cool seeing them guys. We talked a little bit on the radio, but all in all, the travel out there was pretty smooth. You know, hectic. You stayed steady. Had to make it. I knew I was going to be getting there at the later part of lunch for the port, but I knew I'd get there during lunch, and I did. I showed up there about quarter to one or so. Got pulled around the back. As you know, as I said on the last episode, I had a pickup at the port, as well as the delivery that was going to the port. Both the paperwork said, and we'll get into that here in a minute. I don't know what I did with it, but I'm gonna find the paperwork and I'll show it to you. The paperwork said I was delivering to Mid-Atlantic. I was also picking up from Mid-Atlantic, so that was fantastic. Can't beat that. So I pull into the port. I get there about quarter to one or so. The agent that I got the load from that I was picking up had sent me the dock receipt this morning. So I climbed in the back and I got my printer out and I was going to print that dock receipt, but that she had sent it to me in a form that my printer doesn't support. So I tried to get it to convert in my phone. I spent 15-20 minutes or so getting it to convert in my phone, trying to anyways, and it just wasn't working. So I ended up, my phone just wouldn't convert it. So what I ended up doing was emailing it to my wife at home, and she was able to convert it in her computer and then send it back to me. And she's my wife is definitely the tech person in our family. That's not my department at all, like not even a little bit. So it's amazing that I get these videos done as quick as I do. So she got it sent back to me, which was fantastic, and I love her for it. I was able to get that printed out. Kind of a neat thing that happened, and I got to apologize. As I was trying to get my dock receipt printed out and I'm sitting there, there was a truck that pulled around. I was like way at the end of the Mid-Atlantic terminal because it was so packed from everybody being there at lunchtime, getting in there during lunch. So I was way at the end, at the very end of the row, and I was sitting there trying to get that dock receipt, and this guy pulls up and he's yelling. And at first I thought, man, what is this guy yelling about? Like, what could I possibly be doing wrong sitting where I'm sitting? I was off to the side. I wasn't in anybody's way, and I'm like, man, what could I possibly do? What? These dang truck drivers. Well, then the guy jumps out and runs over, and he tells me that he watches me on YouTube all the time. So, man, listen, I talked to you for a minute, and I didn't catch your name, and I got to apologize to you. Well, number one, for not catching your name. Put a comment down below so I knew who you were, and I can talk about that a little bit. But I didn't catch your name, and I apologize for that. But also, I apologize for, I did tell you that I was going to come over to where you were loading and talk to you, that I figured I'd end up out there, and I really thought I would. However, what you're about to see on the rest of this video will explain what happened. It just turned into a mess, a hot mess. Right after I talked to you, I got that thing printed out. I was on the phone with my wife when you walked up, and I got that thing printed out, and I walked up, and from there, that is when the nightmare started. So I apologize to you, but I think when you watch the rest of this video, you're going to understand why I didn't show up back there. But hopefully we'll see each other again at the port. It was cool running into you, and hopefully we'll see each other again sometime. I think you're one of the guys that's in there all the time, so I think we will run into each other. I hope we do. So I appreciate you running over and saying hi. That was cool. I very much enjoy seeing people that watch the channel and talking to them, and I really wish I'd have had a little bit more time to sit and talk to you. But the circumstances what they were, and you'll find out in a minute. So enough about that. After I talked to him, I went inside to the office there, and I checked in, and I walked in with both sets of paperwork. I had my pickup delivery order, which looks like this, and I also had, I think I put it in the trash bag back here. I also had a delivery, this paperwork here, and in the delivery, pretty clear on it, and I will try to get this on screen for you. Right here, hopefully you can read that. Right there, if you notice, it says Mid-Atlantic Terminal. Atlantic Container Line, Mid-Atlantic Terminal, 2700 Bruning Highway. That's Mid-Atlantic Terminal. So I went there, and when I walked inside, I had both these paperwork, and I walked in, I said, okay, listen, I'm delivering this first, and then I'm picking this up, and I handed it to her. And for whatever reason, the girl that I handed it to, she took the pickup paperwork first, checked me in for paperwork, or pickup, and then she picked up my delivery paperwork. And that is when it went bad. She said, she looked at this and she said, this doesn't go here. This goes to Shed 12. And I'm like, what? It says Mid-Atlantic right on it. And she says, yeah, but that Atlantic Container Service, that is Shed 12. And I'm like, well, how would I have known that? Like, there's no way for us to know these things. So unfortunately, she already had me checked in, which was a crane load. So it's a crane appointment that I was, and I'm like, oh man, this is bad. So she was like, well, go over. I said, I'll run over to Shed 12, try to get, now this is about 1:15, 1:20, maybe 1:30 at the latest. She said, go over to Shed 12, see if you can get that unloaded. Let them know that you have a crane appointment over here and you're checked in so that we can get you, maybe they'll move a little bit quicker. I said, okay. Ran back out to the truck, and let me tell you, that's a hike, because I was way at the end, and that is not very short. I should have brought a snack. Like, it's so far. Like, but got back out to the truck and spun around, went down to Shed 12, walked in to check in. Girl checks me in, and she says, there's a couple numbers missing on this paper, so just have a seat. We're going to get this worked out. We sent an email. So, okay. All right. Apparently, phones just aren't a thing anymore. Like, I don't know, like, we got to send an email to get a couple numbers. Why aren't we just calling these people and saying, hey, there's 2 numbers missing on the end of this that I need to, what are those 2 numbers? 83, and then they put it on there, or whatever the number might be. Nope. That's, just can't do that. So, to send an email, I sat down, I sat there for probably half hour, 35 minutes or so. She calls me back up and she says, okay, well, we got the numbers we need, but they have to pay for the dock services. Okay. How do I go about having that done? And she gave me the amount and circled the company that's supposed to pay it, and then the dock number, whatever number you need to be able to pay it. So I called the broker and I'm like, all right, listen, this is what's going on. This needs paid. And they said, okay, no problem. We'll pay it. Shouldn't be very long. I said, is there somebody you can call me and let me know, because I don't want to walk back in there 15 times waiting to find out if this thing's paid or not. And that'll just be annoying them. So they said, yeah, no problem. Well, I never got that phone call. So I called him back and I said, we're about 35 minutes later. So now we're talking 2:30, 2:45 in the afternoon. Mid-Atlantic, if you watch any of my other videos, they close at 3:30. I'm already checked in over there. So I gotta be over there by 3:30 in order to get loaded. There's just no other option. So I'm like, man, we need to make something happen here. She was like, oh, there's nothing I can do. And I'm like, why are you holding me up? Why are you holding a driver up to get payment for something I have nothing to do? Like, I don't have anything to do with that. Well, that's the policy, and that's the way they do it. So I get back out into my truck. Now it's about 3:05 or so, and I'm just like, you know what? I called the broker and I said, listen, I'm just going to go in there and pay this. If they will let me pay it, I'm going to go in there and pay this fee, and then you're going to have to reimburse me for this, because I'm not waiting till tomorrow to unload this thing. This is ridiculous. So that's what happened. I went inside. There's a QR code on the wall. I put the QR code in. That was fighting with me as well. It would not. It wouldn't pull up the right information. Couldn't get to the terminal that I needed. Couldn't get to Dundalk Terminal to be able to pay. So the girl ended up giving me the phone number to the office, and I called them. I made the payment. Got that done. They sent me a receipt on it. I walked back inside. Now it's already 3:30. I walk back inside. I let them know that the payment was made. I go back outside. They said, wait in your truck. We'll come get you. I go back outside. I start unchaining, and the guy comes around and gets me. And in the meantime, while that was all going on, I had emailed or text messaged the other agent, the one I was picking up from, and I said, listen, this ain't going to happen. I'm just not going to make it over there in time to load. So we need to find out if they can load me tomorrow or what they want to do about this. So in the meantime, she was working on that while I was getting unloaded, and what turned out to be a really crappy situation, in the end it's going to work out okay. The big part that got affected by me, once I got back in the truck after I got delivered, they came, they drove the machine off because it's rubber tracked. They won't let us drive it off, potential damage, whatever. They drove it off. Apparently that's what the fee was for. Apparently we're paying for them to back this thing off my trailer and move it however far into a parking space. Unfortunately, he backed it off. I got hooked back up. I went and checked my phone, and the agent from the other load said, "You're good. We got a crane appointment for tomorrow. You can load tomorrow." I said, "Okay." I will run down to Jessup Truck Stop. My daughter lives very close to here. I'll go have dinner with her, and I will pick this thing up in the morning. The only thing there that got affected was my home time. That aggravates me when my home time is affected. I should have been loaded tonight, maybe halfway home tonight. Should have got up tomorrow morning, had a few hours, 2, 3, 4 hours to run, and been home. Instead, I'm going to be waiting until they open at 8, waiting through a big long line on a Friday morning. I'll probably get checked in about 8:30, run over to the crane. Hopefully that's fast. Historically, it's not so quick, but I'm hoping that they will get it done fast and I'll get out of there 10 o'clock, maybe be home by dinner time. So that is a little bit frustrating, but those of you that are new to trucking or watching my channel because you're new to trucking or want to get into this, these are things that happen. You need to be prepared for these things. This one hasn't happened. It used to be a thing a lot at ports where they didn't pay for services and you had to sit around and wait. This one hasn't happened to me in a long time, so this was kind of caught me off guard because I wasn't, it's been so long since it happened. I was very surprised that it happened. And in the end, after the stress and whatnot, it all worked out, and my home time was what got affected. So these things happen. Be ready for it. And we all know, we only control so much, and we control what we control. And this was one and that's the frustrating part, I think, because this isn't anything I did. I did my job. I ran hard to get where I needed to be. I got there when I was supposed to be there, when I told them I'd be there, and then it just kind of all went to crap. So I was reimbursed for I sent the receipt to the agent that had the load I was delivering. I immediately got reimbursed, so they did a great job, and I really appreciate that. This one thing I wanted to say about I booked the load from the load that's coming out of the port that I'll be loading tomorrow morning. I was supposed to load today. I booked that from Maverick Transport, and the woman's name that I've been working with is Jessie. I can't say enough about Jessie. Very easy to work with, very good person to work with. If you see a load on a load board and it's from Maverick, if you can get a hold of Jessie and work with her on that load, I would highly recommend it. She's a great person. She's very good at her job and gets on things right away and gets you what you need, and there's no BS going on there. So Jessie, I know, I think I don't know if you watch the channel or not, but if you do, thank you for putting all the effort you put in today to get this thing changed to tomorrow. I apologize to you for the cluster that I created with this unintentionally, but I appreciate all the work you put in. And also to the company that I got the load from, that I brought in there and delivered, they also did pretty well with what they could control. Obviously, they had no control over the guy. That wasn't them that was paying the bill. That was someone else that was supposed to pay the bill. So, and I paid it. They reimbursed me, so they're out money too. Now they've got to recoup that money as well. So, I appreciate the effort that they put into it. In the end, I had to do it myself, but they definitely, it wasn't for lack of trying on their part. So, that being said, we're going to try this again tomorrow. Currently in Jessup, Maryland. I came down here to the TA truck stop. I like this one a little bit better than the other TA that's in Baltimore, not too far from the port. I like this one a little bit better. It's only 10, 12 miles away. So currently here, text my daughter to see if she wanted to come have dinner, and I'm just waiting on her to respond to me. I'm probably gonna run in and get a shower, sit down and get something to eat, and hopefully she'll be down here. And whew, God willing, we'll get this thing loaded tomorrow and be on our way. The load I'm picking up tomorrow picks up at Mid-Atlantic Terminal. We know that because we were checked in already. It picks up Mid-Atlantic. It's going to Holland, Michigan. Some kind of frame assembly. Haven't seen it yet. Don't know. Supposed to weigh 38,000 pounds. We're 12.2 wide, and we're going to be, it is, they said 150 inches tall. 150 inches works out to 12'6". My trailer, 12'6". If the weight is positioned right, we should be somewhere right at 14 foot. I permitted for 14.2 just to be sure, but we're gonna see how this goes. So stick around. If you're brand new to the channel, I appreciate you watching. Thanks for tuning in today. If you like what you see, consider hitting that subscribe button. Hit that like button if you liked what you saw today. You want to see more, hit that subscribe button. And hopefully I'll continue to bring content you enjoy. If you have something you'd like to see or something you'd like to say about one of the videos, make a comment below, man. I like seeing it. I try to answer them as quick as possible. Not always the best at it, but I try to get to it. So if you got something you'd like to see or a comment you'd like to make, please comment below. I enjoy the interaction with other people, and the interaction I had today, that was super neat, seeing him run over and say that he enjoyed my channel. So hopefully he'll comment below and I'll know exactly who it is, and I can see him next time. Until then, see you guys on the next one. Hopefully tomorrow I'll get some good footage of getting loaded at the port.